Hello everyone. Today's topic is oxygen transport. Oxygen transport. Oxygen is very essential for survival. Every cell requires oxygen in proper amount for its survival. And oxygen cannot be stored in the body. Therefore, a proper regular oxygen supply is must. Tissues are very sensitive to oxygen deficiency. There is some variations in sensitivity of the deficiency of oxygen. For example, oxygen deficiency in central nervous system neurons will cause damage to neurons very rapidly within minutes. Within 3 to 5 minutes, there may be irreversible damage to the tissue. Therefore, a continuous supply of oxygen is a must. When we inspired, oxygen enters into our lung. We can divide it into from air during inspiration, air oxygen comes in the lung. Oxygen comes in the lung where partial pressure is more. Partial pressure of oxygen is more. This stage may be known as ventilation. The stage of ventilation. Then this oxygen partial pressure is more and blood is flowing through pulmonary blood vessel. This oxygen will, it has blood and blood cells, RBC and plasma. This oxygen will diffuse rapidly into the bloodstream and major portion will combine with this second phase is diffusion at lung stage. Diffusion in lung. Diffusion in lung. Oxygen will enter into the blood and this oxygen will combine, majority will combine with hemoglobin content, hemoglobin present in RBC, hemoglobin present in RBC, major, and second in plasma. A little amount, very little amount is dissolved into the plasma. Little amount is dissolved into the plasma. It is only about 0.3 milliliter of oxygen per 100 milliliter of blood, per 100 milliliter of blood at a partial pressure of partial pressure of oxygen of blood when partial pressure of oxygen PO2 is 100. PO2 is 100 millimeter of mercury. And in RBC, hemoglobin, 1 gram of hemoglobin, when 1 gram of hemoglobin fully saturated carries 1.34 milliliter of oxygen. Suppose a person is having 15 gram of hemoglobin percent, 15 gram percent, that is 15 gram in 100 ml of blood, hemoglobin 15 gram in 100 ml of blood, then he is carrying 20 ml of blood 20 ml of oxygen in 100 ml of blood, in 100 milliliter of blood. 15 gram in 100 milliliter of blood, then he is carrying 20 ml of oxygen in his 100 milliliter of blood. This is the circulation, it is circulating here, and this is third is perfusion. Ventilation, diffusion, then perfusion. And last is diffusion at tissue level. Diffusion at tissue level. We can divide this oxygen transport in 4 stages. First is ventilation. Oxygen is coming into the ventilation. Then diffusion of oxygen at lung level, from lung to blood vessel. And this is circulation. This is circulation. Oxygen is being transported by hemoglobin as well as in plasma. Although in plasma it is very less in amount, at tissue level oxygen will diffuse out. Oxygen will diffuse out into the tissue. Oxygen will diffuse out in the tissue. This is the second stage. That is the fourth stage, diffusion at tissue level. And this will go into the cells, and cells will use it into metabolic function, forming ATP, and oxygen is consumed and carbon dioxide is produced due to metabolic function. We will learn about carbon dioxide transport from tissue to lung in another video. Now, coming to how we can calculate, how we will know oxygen content of blood. How we will know oxygen content of blood? First is that the most common is by pulse oximeter. By pulse oximeter. Pulse oximeter, we can know the oxygen content, and it must be 95 to 100%. Pulse SpO2, that is known as SpO2, partial pressure of oxygen. It is very simple technique to know the oxygen content of blood. Second is ABG, arterial blood test. Arterial blood test will show exact amount in the arterial blood. It is somewhat complicated and needs instruments, sophisticated instruments, ABG. In this way, we can know our oxygen content. Very common is pulse oximeter. By pulse oximeter, we will learn about pulse oximeter in next video, in another video. So, we learn about the importance of oxygen, stages of oxygen transport, and how oxygen is transported in blood from lung to tissue, and then how we can measure oxygen content in our body. So, for today, it is about oxygen transport. Please like, share this video and subscribe the channel. Thank you very much for watching.